These 10 actors didn't just risk their lives for the camera, they nearly lost them. From deadly stunts gone wrong to real-life choking, drowning, and broken bones. These stories aren't Hollywood fiction, they're horrifyingly real. You won't believe who almost didn't make it home. Watch until the end. Jackie Chan is famous for doing all his own stunts, but one of those stunts almost cost him his life. In 1986, Jackie was filming Armor of God, an action comedy where he plays an adventurer. Think of him as the Chinese Indiana Jones. While filming in Yugoslavia, Jackie attempted a relatively simple stunt, jumping from a wall to a tree branch. Sounds easy, right? But in that one moment, everything went wrong. The branch snapped. He plummeted headfirst onto a rock. The impact cracked his skull, pushing a bone fragment into his brain. Blood gushed from his ears. Crew members screamed. Jackie lay unconscious, unresponsive. He was rushed to the hospital. Surgeons had to drill a hole into his skull to relieve the pressure. Jackie later said he could literally hear the sound of the drill inside his head. He now has a permanent hole in his skull covered by a plastic plug. Incredibly, he returned to filming the same movie with a cast on his head. That's Jackie, but the experience haunted him. For the first time, he truly feared for his life. When I hit the ground, I saw death. Jackie Chan. He's the daredevil of Hollywood. But in 2017, Tom Cruise's obsession with realism nearly ended in tragedy. On the set of Mission Impossible Fallout, Tom Cruise insisted on performing a rooftop chase across London. The scene called for him to leap from one building to another. No stunt double, no safety net, just wires and willpower. As the cameras rolled, Cruise sprinted, jumped, and missed his landing. He crashed into the edge of the building. You can actually see his foot hit the wall at a wrong angle. It broke instantly. But here's the most insane part. Instead of calling cut, Tom kept going. He pulled himself up, hobbled away from the camera on a broken foot to finish the shot. Everyone on set was stunned. The man had just shattered his ankle and walked it off. Production shut down for weeks as Tom healed. He later described the pain as excruciating. But he still called the injury worth it because they got the shot. I knew it was broken the second I landed, but I had to finish the scene. The adrenaline kept me going. Tom Cruise. Tom's stunts are legendary. But this one proved, even the toughest men have limits. He created one of the greatest sports franchises of all time. But to make it real, Stallone almost died. During the filming of Rocky IV, Stallone wanted the fight scenes to look as real as possible. So he told Dolph Lundgren, who played the monstrous Ivan Drago, to really hit him. Big mistake. Dolph was a trained martial artist and 6'5", 250 pounds, when he landed a punch to Stallone's chest. The impact was so powerful, it sent Stallone into cardiac arrest. Sly's blood pressure dropped dramatically. He collapsed hours later and was rushed to the ER. Doctors found that his heart had actually slammed against his ribcage, causing internal swelling. He spent 9 days in intensive care. 9 days. He hit me so hard my heart bounced off my ribs. Sylvester Stallone. That punch wasn't even used in the final film. But the pain and the fear, that stayed with Stallone forever. He later admitted, I wanted realism. I got it, nearly paid for it with my life. One of Hollywood's most beloved stars almost didn't live to finish his trilogy in Back to the Future Part 3. There's a scene where Marty McFly is hanged by the villain Mad Dog Tannen. It was supposed to be simulated. Fox was standing on a hidden box, and the noose was loose. But during one take, the box slipped. Michael J. Fox was actually hanged for real. He lost consciousness. The crew didn't realize it immediately, thinking he was just giving a brilliant performance. He was out for 30 full seconds before anyone noticed. I was really choking. I passed out. Michael J. Fox. He recovered, but barely. A few seconds longer, and the story could have ended in tragedy. He never performed a stunt involving strangulation again. Sometimes, movie magic comes terrifyingly close to real horror. Oscar-winning actress Halle Berry has survived more than just bad relationships. She survived Hollywood itself. Halle has a shocking history of on-set injuries, some of which nearly ended her life. Die Another Day, 2005. During a love scene with Pierce Brosnan, Berry choked on a fig. She couldn't breathe, she was suffocating. Brosnan had to perform the Heimlich maneuver to save her life. I was choking to death. Pierce literally saved me. Halle Berry, The Call, 2013. She fell and hit her head on a concrete floor, knocking herself unconscious. She was rushed to the hospital in the middle of the shoot. Catwoman, 2004. She was hit on the head with a lighting rig. Minor injuries, but it could have been fatal. Add to that multiple stunt accidents, and you get a woman who's risked it all, often silently. Hallie once joked, "I get hurt on every movie I do." It's kind of my thing. But behind the humor is a hard truth. She's been lucky. Very lucky. He's won an Oscar, worked with Scorsese, and survived a bear attack on screen. But one of Leo's most intense moments came not in The Revenant, but during a dinner scene in Django Unchained. In the iconic dinner scene where DiCaprio's character, Calvin Candy, delivers a tense monologue, he slams his hand onto a table. What wasn't planned was the glass on the table. As Leo slammed his palm, the glass shattered and deeply cut into his hand. Blood started pouring, real blood. But he didn't break character. He kept going in full rage, blood dripping down his hand. The other actors, including Jamie Foxx and Kerry Washington, were frozen, unsure if it was scripted. Leo reached out and even smeared blood on Washington's face, improvising through the pain. The scene made it into the final cut. It was like watching a man possessed. And it was real blood. We were all stunned. Jamie Foxx. After the take, Leo got medical treatment and 12 stitches. The injury could have severed tendons and arteries if it had been an inch deeper. But what was born from that pain? One of the most unforgettable performances of his career. He's known for method acting, but in 2004, Christian Bale's obsession with transformation pushed him to the brink of death. To play a mentally deteriorating insomniac in The Machinist, Bale lost over 60 pounds, dropping to just 120 pounds at 6 feet tall. His diet, 1 apple, a can of tuna, and black coffee per day. That's more than 300 calories for 4 months straight. I had stopped functioning like a human. I forgot how to be social. I could feel my body shutting down. Christian Bale. Doctors warned that he was risking organ failure, immune system collapse, and death. But Bale insisted on continuing. The scariest part? He wanted to lose even more weight, down to 100 pounds. Before producers told him it was too dangerous. He couldn't sleep. His bones ached. Simple movements became difficult. And every second of that performance was fueled by real suffering. Christian Bale survived, but it changed him forever. I saw what it felt like to disappear. He later gained 100 pounds in 6 months for Batman Begins. The physical toll of these extremes still haunts his health. She was the bride in Tarantino's blood-soaked revenge epic. But what happened off-screen could have killed her and changed her relationship with the director forever. In a scene from Kill Bill Volume 2, Thurman's character drives a blue convertible through winding jungle roads. Quentin Tarantino insisted she drive the actual car herself. No stunt double, despite Uma's concerns. The car was old, the seatbelt barely worked, and the road was unsafe. She lost control. The car veered off the road and crashed into a tree at full speed. She slammed her head and neck violently. For a moment she thought she was paralyzed. Crew rushed to the scene. She was shaken, terrified, and furious. I was in a car that should not be driven. I begged them not to make me do it. Uma Thurman. She suffered long-term neck and knee injuries. Years later, she said Tarantino personally gave her the footage of the crash, admitting it was wrong. The moment strained their relationship for over a decade. It wasn't just a stunt gone wrong. It was betrayal. And nearly her last scene ever. He's one of the toughest men in Hollywood. But in 2014, Jason Statham came terrifyingly close to death, and it all happened in the water. During filming in Bulgaria, Statham was behind the wheel of a 3-ton stunt truck. The scene was rehearsed, but suddenly the brakes failed. The truck drove off the dock and plunged 60 feet into the Black Sea. Crew members screamed. Jason was trapped inside the sinking truck, weighed down by his gear. Boots and body armor. He fought to unlock the door, but water was rushing in. I thought, this is it. This is how I go. Jason Statham. But his experience as a former Olympic diver saved him. He managed to free himself, swim up, and reach the surface just before passing out. The truck sank to the bottom of the sea. The crew watched in horror, thinking they had lost him. But Jason emerged barely alive. No stunt double, no safety diver, just grit and a brush with death. Before Brendan Fraser became a comeback icon, he nearly died in the movie that made him famous. In The Mummy, there's a scene where Rick O'Connell is hanged in a prison square. It was choreographed to perfection, but something went wrong. During one take, the rope tightened too much. Brendan's feet slipped, and he was actually hanged with the crew thinking it was acting. But he wasn't acting. He passed out. I remember the world going black. Then waking up on the floor with people slapping my face. Brendan Fraser. He lost consciousness. His throat was bruised for weeks. He was nearly strangled to death on camera. Later in life, Brendan opened up about how that moment and others took a toll on his physical and mental health. Years of stunt work, pain, and silence wore him down. He stepped away from Hollywood, but thankfully came back. And behind that lovable smile, a man who's already fought and survived too much. Which actor's story shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments.
Wait, fact. If you thought this was powerful, hit that subscribe. There's more where that came from.